It's the NFL on EA Sports,
where we'll see two of the NFL's oldest and most storied franchises.
It's the Giants
and the Commanders,
and it's coming up next on Madden Football.
EA Sports, always proud to bring you the National Football League as we join you from Northwest Stadium, just outside Washington, D.C. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about this Commanders team coming into play here today. They come in off a good win on the road, and now they hit the home opener at 1-0. On the other side of the field for the visiting Giants, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
The final weekend of the summer. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are as we are off and running on EA Sports. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So the Commanders make their way out on offense for the first time here. And it's the rookie Jaden Daniels, the number 2 overall pick, leading the way.
And as we begin week 2 in the NFL, he was truly one of the top stories around the league. What a debut. Didn't look phased at all, handled everything with poise and grace, and played through in a big way. I can't wait to see what the defenses throw at him this week and see how he adjusts.
Right to the air is Daniels. Oh, the first play of the game going to be intercepted. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line.
Wow, just one snap in, partner, and the complexion of this game has already changed because for the defensive side, they just handed their offense a short field and a big early advantage. And even though it's only the first snap of the game, we're going to look back on this one and see if it has lasting effects as this game moves on.
The Giants offense ready to go to work, and they'll do so behind Daniel Jones in his 6th season now out of Duke.
And he comes off a tough opening matchup, threw way too many interceptions in that game. Definitely not the way you want to kick off a new season. So he said to himself, I've got to throw that game out. I'm going to get a fresh start right here in week 2.
Cadence, lock in the cadence, lock in the cadence.
Now Jones. Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted. Picked off by Benjamin St. Just. And the Commanders are going to have it here just past the 25. And this, Charles, definitely not what they were wanting to see. Remember, he threw 3 interceptions in the loss last week, and now he gives the ball away again here in the very first quarter.
And you have to think that this was drilled into him all week, too, by his teammates, by his coaching staff. They've told him all week long, we've got to protect the football. They probably crossed that fine line with giving him the right advice and saying it too much, and it turned out that it got into his head a little bit.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep, and that is not fooling anyone. He never had a chance to turn the corner there, and they'll go backwards right away.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. To the air goes Daniels. Flushed, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Isaiah Simmons getting by the offensive line and dropping the quarterback.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Here is 3rd and quite a ways.
Ready.
Throwing now is Daniels. And that is incomplete.
That looks like it's going to be 2 empty possessions now to start this football game. I think they're going to have to sit down and talk about what worked for them last week in their win. Sometimes you over-game plan, overthink things. Get back to what works.
And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return, and it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. So the Giants getting the football back here for their second drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. And the Commanders are going to take over at their own 41.
Well, it doesn't take a whole lot of investigation to figure out why they're still sitting at 0 on the scoreboard, because their quarterback's got to wake up and start reading defense a heck of a lot better after throwing his second interception.
The Washington offense back out there. They'll start in excellent field position following the INT. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Now Daniels. Got this complete to Jahan Dotson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down. A nice throw right there. And Charles, this is game number 2 in the NFL for this young rookie. His guys getting the victory last week, and he played pretty well by most accounts. Curious, what did you see?
I saw something similar to what...
And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. It'll be a loss of 5 there as the safety blitz winds up paying off. Oh, free safety blitz, that can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble, because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he'd better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
First carry of the game for Brian Robinson. And he is going to lose yardage here. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long. You talk about this Giant defense. And they've been excellent against the pass, the number 6 unit in the NFL.
Yeah, defending the pass hasn't been an issue for them. It's been stopping the run. And if they don't stop the run, they can't get back to their strength, which is guarding against the air attack.
Really in a hole here, 3rd and 17 following the 2 negative plays. Daniels looking to throw. Here's a screen for Robinson. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long, because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the 1st down.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And that ball's going to angle out at the 3-yard line. A beauty. Not the start to this ball game he had hoped for. 2 drives, 2 interceptions. The good news is this ball game is still scoreless. So let's start all over here. 1st and 10.
Half 18, half 18.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
And he's missed now in his first 4 passing attempts. The rhythm is just not there to begin this ball game.
Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. Throwing, Jones. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up fourth down.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
So that'll be marked down as a 19-yard punt. And Washington will have a short field here as they take over 1st and 10. The Washington offense set to take over. Now, early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Here's Daniels. Complete to Zacchaeus. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 13 yards there on a Washington first.
Another nice play there. They've gotten down into the red zone in no time at all. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll. And now they're set up with a 1st and 10.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. This carry, despite the extra effort, will be stopped short of the 10. Darnay Holmes, the one to bring him down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good 1st down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on 1st down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Back-to-back 4-yard runs. Now, look, if they just do that all the way downfield, ball ends up in the end zone, but that's a little difficult to do.
Yeah, I think now 3rd and 2, that defense ready to stiffen up and stop that run. To throw is Daniels. Escaping the pressure right. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Jaden Daniels, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Commanders are on the board first here this afternoon.
And this is a balancing act for a head coach with a rookie quarterback. You've got to walk a line with it. You don't want him getting happy feet, but you also don't want to rein in what worked for him in college. And here, he pulls it down, takes it himself, and takes it into the end zone.
Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from our nation's capital, and it's Washington in possession of the football as they've got it as we resume action. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. New York's offense back out there and set to go. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Jones. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
That's now 6 dropbacks, 6 incompletions. Yeah, the defense been pretty good early, but he's got to start hitting some of those throws. He's making them better than what they actually are.
Okay, here we go.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Jones looking for Johnson, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. So the holding call on the offense, so they go ahead and decline that one and take possession of the football on the INT.
On the jump. Go.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. Brian Burns, the one to bring him down. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Here's 2nd and 8. That one complete out to Dotson. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. Out of the gun, they give to Robinson. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. 2nd and 7 from the 20.
Come on.
Working out of the gun, Daniels. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. He found his way into the backfield, and he simply would not be denied.
Well, they say that life's all about opportunities, and that holds true when you're playing defense as well.
Okay,
how about him seeing that chance, making the most of it, did a great job of wrapping him up and bringing him down.
Ready.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Now we get a stoppage because, as you can see, a member of the Commanders in some obvious discomfort. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Tress Way on 4th down is sent out to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. The Giants offense and quarterback Daniel Jones set to take over again. He was intercepted on that last drive, the 3rd one he's thrown in this first half alone. And he'll look to right the ship here, 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
But there's an incompletion, partner, and the struggles through the air continue because so far their lack of passing production has led to a lack of points.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Jones. And his throw is incomplete.
Lots of incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. It certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on 3rd down.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Off play action. Jones. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Jeremy Chin picks it off. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line. Well, CD, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you meant to the guys in the other uniform. With 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, and instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him, throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared, had an excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
A lot of times the key is just get him the ball and let him do his thing, and they got it out to him on the left side, and he did exactly that. Excellent run after the catch.
Ready.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Ben Sinnott with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Commanders are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So this offensive unit, yeah, they were solid in the opening week victory, and now they are looking just as sharp here in week 2.
And that's exactly what you want, too, because you want to get better each and every week and really ramp up as the season goes on. I know it's still early in the season and a lot can happen, but this offense, they look like they're going to be fun to watch each and every time out.
Extra point by Blankenship is up and good, and it's now 14-0. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And he's all the way up across the 40 and down at the 42. Great return. The Giants going to take over again on offense. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
Jones and the Giants now with a 1st and 10 at their own 42. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. Give them 18 there, and the Giants have a first down.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Half jumbo, half jumbo.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Man open is Robinson. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. That one good for 37 yards. They'll look to throw again. Escapes the sack. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down.
Well, it looked like a quick hitter, a 3-step drop, but when it's not there, what do? He elects to try and escape through the massive bodies up the middle, and he does so and picks up positive yardage.
And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Daniel Jones, his first touchdown here of the new campaign.
And the Giants are back within a score.
Hey, you're down on the scoreboard, but now your offense is in close, and this is where, as a quarterback, you say, I've got to make a play here. Doesn't matter whether it's a pinpoint throw or a scramble like this one. He takes matters into his own hands and delivers a touchdown run.
So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away.
A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll.
Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well. So that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field's still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Operating from the gun, Daniels. And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete. He's a 2nd-round pick, a solid 2nd-round pick. But when you're close to that 1st round, do you come in with a little chip on your shoulder?
You definitely do, because now your money's not the same. But even more than that, it's the prestige. Everyone wants to be a 1st-round pick, and he thought his talent demanded that. And I do know some teams in the league that had 1st-round grades on him.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago, really it grades out as a pretty darn good class.
So you have to give a lot of credit to the entire scouting organization. General manager, personnel department, college scouts, it all came together. They evaluated it very well and got a nice payoff.
Working with the lead, trying to get to 2-0. Here's 1st and 10.
Sets up the screen to Robinson. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
And good yardage there on 1st down, because sometimes all you need to do on the screen is get one key block. That might set your man free, and that was pretty good pursuit to the football defensively. Or it could have gone for more.
Operating from the gun, Daniels.
Throw right side complete to Dotson.
Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Operating from the gun, Daniels. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. It'll be a loss of 10, and it'll bring up 2nd.
Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this 1st half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Looking to throw. Daniels.
The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
From the shotgun, it's Daniels. Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
Credit the Giants defense that time in pass coverage. 4th down.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive.
And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together.
And oh my goodness, here's a 5th interception. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the 1st half. Wow, a big mistake there. Late interception in this 1st half, and that could lead to a field goal try the other way.
Yeah, I think at this point you just had to say, let's take a knee and go in at the half and regroup. Let's just talk it over a little bit. I wonder, partner, was the analytics coach in his head a little bit? Maybe go ahead and press it and try and get some points, while the old school coach probably would have said, take the knee, let's get out of here.
Now we could see points the other way here.
Blankenship's kick is good.
And they will move up by 10 now, 17-7.
So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they have the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
So we've reached halftime here in our nation's capital with the Commanders on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coach. Well, everyone's eager to resume play here in this Week 2 contest, so we push right through halftime and back at it for the start of quarter 3. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Giants offense set to begin this third quarter. In the first half, they struggled a little bit to keep pace offensively, CD, down 2 scores here. So how do they make some changes coming out of the locker room?
Well, they've studied what they did in the first half. They've seen what the defense has thrown at them. Now they want to have a plan of attack against it. So you come out, you're not going to get all the points back on one drive.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Benjamin St-Juste. And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line. But that one is going to sting. First play of the third quarter and a turnover.
And you have to know that at halftime, they spent a lot of time going through their checklist of what they wanted to accomplish to start this third quarter. Turning it over like this was not on that list.
Not at all. And you come out of the locker room trailing, so that first drive to establish momentum is very key. Crucial.
Come on, set.
Gets this out quickly to Dotson. They'll give him 4 yards there, and it'll be second down.
Let's go now.
Back to throw. Daniels going right. And he lost the football. And the Giants have it. It's picked up. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Well, you had an offense working with a comfortable 2-score lead here in the third quarter and certainly doesn't feel as comfortable now following the turnover.
Yeah, you're right about that because now the nerves start to come into play a little bit. You're a little bit jangled. You don't want to give your opponents any avenues to get back into the game. What you'd rather do, put up signs that say, roads closed.
The Giants offense and Daniel Jones set to take over again. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets. And it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble.
Here we go. Reload.
A give to Robinson on the option. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And they have just not been able to block him at all throughout this game. Seems like every other play, he's doing something in the backfield. Already got 2 sacks, and now here's a tackle behind the line.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss.
Ready, set up.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Encroachment, defense.
And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis mat. That's just an unforced error. Stay alert. Don't jump early and give them free yardage.
On second down, another shot for Robinson. And a strong run there as he'll maneuver his way down inside the 15.
And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Again, it's Robinson. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
Option play. Here's Robinson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 3rd down, now even tougher. 3rd and 13 after that loss of a yard. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll be brought down well short of the first at about the 9-yard line. And now time will be called here as Washington has an injured player down on the field. Now the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Out there is Rodrigo Blankenship in the field goal unit. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. Blankenship's kick is good. And that will open the lead up now to 20-7. Well, whatever was said in the locker room during the break must have worked. They forced the turnover. They didn't get the touchdown, Charles, but it does translate into 3 points to begin this second half.
Exactly as they discussed in the locker room at halftime. Get some points to get things kick-started. Now start your half off with some momentum. Gives you something to build on for your next possession.
New York ready to go again offensively. And this group has suffered far too many self-inflicted wounds thus far as we run through some of the mistakes. It's darn near impossible to win in this league when you're turning the ball over at the frequency that they have. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Throwing on 2nd and long. Jones. Oh, and that is incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on 1st down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Jones. And that one almost intercepted. Well, he's got 2 already, nearly a 3rd. But not to be, and it's 4th down.
Looks like another empty possession offensively. And you're at that point in the game where you can't afford too many more of these. So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field.
Get it.
There's a give to Rodriguez on the option. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Quick slant, Dotson. Flashed the stick skills, but didn't get a ton from it. Stopped short of the 35. That'll go for a gain of 7. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Daniels from the gun on 3rd down. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's going to have a Commanders 1st down. They needed 5 there on 3rd down. He winds up getting 7. Now a handoff
off to Rodriguez.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Dexter Lawrence finding his way through defensively for the stop.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
No daylight for him to run through there, and he ran into the defensive tackle, and that guy blocks a whole lot of daylight as it is. He is truly a big man who just made a big play.
Back to throw. Daniels. Now they go screen. It's complete. Evades the tackler, and now some space. And he will not get what he needed as he stops short of the first down at around the 22. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Back now at Commanders Field. It's Washington with the football and the lead as we start the 4th.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. They'll try and run for it. And nowhere to go. He's going to be stopped behind the line. Now we've got a giant player here slow to get up after that last play.
Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break.
Jones and the Giants now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And now here's another interception. Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line. Well, down 2 scores in the 4th quarter. It maybe wasn't quite desperation time, but it was getting close. And that interception there on the deep ball, that probably slams the door on their chances.
And maybe that was the thought process, that it wasn't quite desperation time. So now you take the shot before they're going to lay back any farther on defense. Go ahead and throw it downfield. Unfortunately, it didn't work.
Now the Washington offense heading out. They have to like the position that they are in. 4th quarter, 2-score lead, and now the ball back after the INT.
Ready.
Throwing to start the drive. Daniels.
And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Here we go. Set. Ready.
And now a run with Rodriguez.
And he's brought down, but not before a gain of 13, down to the 13. 1st and 10 in the red zone.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge.
And he'll score. Touchdown, Commanders. Jahan Dotson
from 13 yards out.
And the Commanders are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this 4th quarter lead.
He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the 4th quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like 4th quarter, and the QBing is easy. How about this guy? Youngster, not worried about anything, just cutting it loose and having fun.
They'll try and run it here. And he will dive into the end zone, and the 2-point conversion is successful. And so they run it in on the 2-point try, and it's so often, Charles, we talk about from the offense's perspective what you do on the 2-point conversion. How about the defense? How do they play run versus pass?
It's really difficult for them because I think most teams want to play for the pass. That's what they see most teams do. And so are you able to mass enough people inside if the team decides to run it? Very difficult. I think what you're seeing a lot more now, people blitzing the 2-point conversion. They want you to make a quick decision and make it right now.
There, the offense wins the battle for 2. And New York set to take the field.
So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, You're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
He's across midfield. Now inside the 25 and down to the 16-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. 64 yards.
They made that way too easy for them. No one is supposed to be that open against an NFL defense. Once he caught the ball, there wasn't anybody close enough to stop him, and he was able to continue downfield after making the catch.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Now Jones. And that is caught. He's got it for a giant touchdown. A great effort there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Giants have got it back to a 2-score game here in the fourth. All right, so this one not quite over yet. Back to a 2-score game, CD.
Yeah, and you've still got 4+ minutes to go, so when you think about comebacks, it's happened before. Now, it hasn't happened often, but you've got to think to yourself, let's be the next great comeback story and play this one out.
Extra point try good by Gano, and that cuts the lead to 28-14. The quick strike ability certainly intact there. 2 plays, 80 yards to score it. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
All right, a great read by the secondary. They come up to stop that touch pass before it can even get back to the line. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4. This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead.
Well, I don't think there's any question, Brandon, at this stage, the stop troops, the defensive guys, they got to use their 3 timeouts here. They've got to stop them and get the ball back.
Yeah, if you're in that 2 to 3 score deficit window that they're in now, you got to get it ASAP.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Stop them, use your timeouts. Easier to move the ball on offense without timeouts than to stop them on defense without using them. And there's a good opportunity to just want to ride there. A drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
2nd and 10. Hand off to Robinson out of the shotgun. And a pretty good burst there as he'll get this across midfield and down to the 46. 56 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times. Now, this offense really looking polished these first couple of weeks. Here's 1st and 10. Back to Robinson now on 1st down. Brought down on the play by Kayvon Thibodeau. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down 4th quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys, they're just saying, let's just keep running it at them. We've got them now.
And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. So it's Commanders football as we get back to it. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. 5 points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on 1st down. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
2nd and 5.
Let go. Ready. Hut.
Robinson with another carry. And he'll get this one down to about the 27. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down.
I like the call there because that was one to take time off the clock and get them closer to getting out of here with a W. In the mind of the play caller, all you want to hear is tick, tick, tick.
That is caught. And even though he gets out of bounds to stop the clock, it's not going to matter. That first down going to be enough to write a finish to this one.
They've been moving the ball well, but this drive was in danger of stalling out. Fortunately, this is a nice throw here, and they're able to pick up a new set of downs.
Ready.
Here's Rodriguez. And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line. It's a first down for Washington on a pickup of 11. Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and mini camps for these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
So it's Washington getting the victory here. I tell you what, I can't remember a defensive performance as good as this one. They seemingly forced turnover after turnover after turnover every time you turned around.
Yeah, you can just get going with it, can't you? After turnover, after turnover. As this game unfolded, they were doing all the dictating, right? They told the offense exactly how it was going to go down today. So you saw them deflate with every series, didn't you? Every time they ran onto the field, it was slower and slower to get to the football because they just felt like if we go out there, we're just going to turn it over anyway. So it was really a stellar performance.
So for the Commanders, it's a win here in their home opener as they move to 2-0. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Meanwhile, for the Giants,